ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय सदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। विराग विद्या निज भक्ति योगम शिक्षायकतम सपुरुषम पुराण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपा बुद्धि तमं प्रपद्ये। कालिंदितन तटया सुरदमंद वृंदावनम विहाय लवनाम्बुदं पुलिन पुष्पवाटिवत जित अरुणा कपट सुपीत वास हरि तिरोहित निज कवि श्री गौरंगा मेघ त्यक्त्वा सुदुस्तज्य सुरिक्षराजलक्ष्मी धर्मयष्टार्य वचस यदगाधरण्यम् मायामृगं दैत्यसुतान्वधावत् वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम्। राधाचिन्तनिवेशिनं यस्य कान्तिविलोकिता श्रीकृष्णचरणं वन्दे राधालिङ्गितं विग्रहम्। भक्त्या विहीनाय पराधलक्ष्ये क्षिप्तस्य कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि तं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते शरणारविन्दम्। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतार भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तिशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। टुगेदर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। श्री चैतन्य चेतामृत। श्री कविराज गोस्वामी भक्त आदि क्रमे कैल सबार वंदन ए सबार वंदन सर्व शुभेर कारण। He's saying up till now I have described, or up till now I have worshipped bhaktas, shakti, avatars, prakash. Up till now I have performed, what do you call it, vandana, worship, glorified bhaktas, shaktis, avatars, prakash. Because why I've done this? He's saying because just by remembering them or worship them or glorifying them, uh, that invokes all auspiciousness. Samast Shubher Karan invokes all kind of auspiciousness. Now, the word auspiciousness is different from person to person. Yes, for some person, auspicious means ah, I got a lottery, I got a car, or very auspicious. That's not the meaning of the word auspicious related to what Kaviraj Goswami explaining. The word auspicious always applies to Krishna and Tadya Vastu of Krishna. Tadya Vastu means one, those who are in oneness with Krishna, namely Bhaktas, Shakti, Avatars, and Prakash. And of course, Shri Bhagwan. And of course, Shri Radha Madhav. Source of all auspiciousness. That's why even the worship or even the arati of Radha Madhav is auspicious. And that's called Mangal Arati. Tomorrow, Sunday, every Sunday, we post on Facebook live Mangal Arati, 5 a.m. Indian time. So that is Mangal Arati, where Param Gurudev invoking all auspiciousness for the sadhakas and for the entire world. Mangala Shri Guru Gaura Mangala Murari Mangala Shri Radha Krishna Yugala Pirite Mangala Nishanta Lila Mangala Yudaye Mangalayarati Jage Bhakata Hriday Mangal. So Kaviraj Goswami, when he's saying by worshipping them or glorifying them, one invokes all auspiciousness. Shubha is auspiciousness. How the auspiciousness descends to sadhakas. शुभ दृष्टि करो एवे जगतेरा प्राति कृपा दृष्टि करो माधव हे अधमे प्राति शुभ दृष्टि. There is no need to tell or ask Krishna, please shower your auspiciousness to us. It is already there. Mangal Bhavan Amangal Hari. The embodiment of all auspiciousness is Sri Krishna. The embodiment of all auspiciousness is Bhaktas. Therefore, how we can, okay, Krishna is all auspicious. Bhaktas are all auspicious. The Shaktis are all auspicious. How it has to, how this auspiciousness can help us? When a sadhak perform his bhajan or her bhajan, then according to Shri Rup Goswami Pad, according to Vishnu Chakra Thakur, two leaves sprout from that bhakti kripa. I was explaining this morning. Diksha kale bhakt kare atma samarpan. Say kale Krishna kare tar atma sam. What is the meaning? At the point of diksha, bhakt kare atma samarpan. Bhakt, anyone, surrender himself to Shri Guru. And the same moment, Krishna kare tar atma sam. Krishna immediately embraced that person or darshan to that person or embrace that person or bless that person. And blessings of Krishna comes through many ways. Alok darshan, by his merciful glance. Hide from his heart, if he wants to give blessing to someone from his heart, from his eyes, from his heart, by placing his hands on someone's head. And very special is by placing his lotus feet on someone's head. That's the mercy of Krishna. It comes in that many ways. So, say kale Krishna kore tar atmasam. At the moment of initiation, very important point. Those who know this verse, they understand what I want to say. Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpan. At the point of diksha, initiation, a devotee surrender his self-surrender to Guru. And the same moment, without a delay, Krishna kare tar atmasam. Immediately Krishna embraced that person. All of us got initiation. Where is Krishna? Is this false statement? No, Diksha has not completed yet. Diksha has started yet. In our case, Diksha has started, not completion. When Srila Gurudev, all respected Gurudevs, all of us, when he has given us Diksha, what happened? We have registered ourselves in that school of initiation. We have not passed out the school yet. Only registering the name. Yes, now I am so and so Das. I am so and so Dasi. The name is there. But initiation has not completed yet. Because the process of Diksha is also from 1% to 100%. High school, secondary school, high school. Then student got passed out from school. Similarly, Diksha is not Diksha is there. Self surrender is not completion, is not completed, and that's why Vanchitvasmi, we are bereft of that embrace of Krishna or the vision of Shri Krishna. Moment the Diksha process is complete, Krishna is right in front of that person because Shri Krishna Akarshnika. The glories of that mantra is Shri Krishna Akarshnika. That mantra gives us bhakti, and with that bhakti, which bhakti? Sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti. And because of that, Krishna Akarshnika. Krishna immediately get attracted and Atmasam. Understand? So, example is Gop Kumar, Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Gop Kumar got Gopal mantra from his Gurudev. And by chanting this Gopal mantra very seriously, he is crossing all the levels. Bhur Bhva Swaha, Bhu Bhva Jan Tap, all these lokas, all the way to Brahma Loka. And even he crossed that. He crossed that river, Viraja, which is separating material world and spiritual world. Because of this mantra. And he keep on chanted this mantra. He went to Sadashiv Loka. He went to Saket, the word of Lord Ram. He went to Dwarika. He went to Mathura. But the Sadhe, the final destination of Gopal mantra is Shri Golok Vrindavan. He entered into that, not only into Golok Vrindavan, but he entered into the pastime of Krishna. When Krishna was coming back with his calves and cowherd boys, he's coming back to Gopal from the forest after taking care of cows whole day. Vrindavanam sapadaramnam prabhishna gita kirti. When the Sakhas are glorifying Krishna and Krishna is playing his flute along with Shri Balaram Prabhu, Baldev Prabhu, and Sakhas are glorifying. Today Krishna did this, today Krishna did that. You know how Krishna was rolling on the ground. You know Krishna killed this demon. You know how birds were flying over Krishna. Pravishra Gita Kirti. They are glorifying the Kirti, the fame of Krishna. And because of this Gopal mantra, Shri Gop Kumar entered into that pastime. And that's the completion of his Diksha. Diksha is completed there. And when Diksha is completed there, he reaches his final destination. The Diksha is completed. And then Krishna Koretar Atmasam. Krishna is there. And Krishna embraced him. Gop Kumar got embraced by Krishna. वो बुक लाना हार्ट ऑफ कृष्ण मेरी एनवायरमेंट में Gop Kumar, Krishna embraced Gop Kumar. And then Krishna, because of this union with his devotee and Gokumar, union with Krishna, they both shed tears. Heart of Krishna. उधर एक book है, Heart of Krishna. Embraced each other. And they drenched each other with the tears. So much overflowing of emotions. And Krishna said, patted Gokumar. He said, Gokumar, I was waiting for you from so long. I was waiting for you for so long. You were always averse from me. You never did anything by which I can get a chance. See? Do you see this? How Krishna embraced and Gopkumar, Gopa, in the Gopa Vesh. This is a book written by my Guru Maharaj, The Heart of Krishna. Oh. Krishna is Gopa, cowherd boy, and this Gopkumar is Gopa. And he entered in that Gokul amongst with all other Gopas. And Krishna lovingly embraced Gopkumar. You see, union after long separation. After long separation. That's his final destination. Means his initiation is complete, and Krishna is just there, right in front of Gopal. Whereas in our case, Diksha is not completed yet. Diksha has just started, only beginning point, initial stage. Then come intermediate stage, and then come final stage. This is sadhan bhakti, then come bhav bhakti, and then come prem bhakti. But Gokumar attained this. Well, yeah, I was saying Krishna is saying Gokumar, he's speaking in his ears. Seeing you averse from me from time immemorial. I tried many means so that you can come to me. I need one excuse. Just one point. You do something keeping me as centered so that I get one excuse to bring you back, to bring you to me. But you were not interested in any of such activities. Then finally, I came as Guru. Remember that Guru from whom you got initiation? Who was that Guru? It was me, Krishna said directly. Acharya Mam Vijnani. I descended Acharya. It was me. And I gave you mantra. And finally, you arrived here. You came here. That's called union. With us, what is going on? What is happening with us? Is there a union or is there a separation with Krishna? Yes, there is separation of Krishna. But the separation is not been realized by us. That's why Krishna has union with us. The glories of bhajan and glories of sadhana is to come to that point when we start feeling separation from Krishna. Right now, no separation. Right now, we feel union with Krishna. But the point has to be that one feels separation from Krishna. That's the extreme of bhajan. That's the final destination. Moment one feels a separation from Krishna, Diksha is completed. And then Krishna kare tar atmasam. Krishna is right in front. Krishna can't see that one tear which is like a diamond flowing from the eyes of a devotee. Krishna holds those tears because this tears is for me. Krishna thinks like that. And I was waiting for long to see these tears in your eyes. Not emotional tears. Not just mere emotional tears. but transcendental emotional tears. That comes with a mood of suppression. And for that reason, we practice, we practice, we practice until we succeed. Practice, practice, practice until we succeed. That is one form of initiation. Yeah. Then there is another. Shri Naraji gave mantras to many. So, what is initiation? Initiation is the auspiciousness which one gets in one's lifetime. The receiving mantras from the source of all auspiciousness, Shri Guru. And by glorifying and worshipping him, all auspiciousness bound to come. Because we are in proximity with that source of all auspiciousness, Shri Guru. Naraji gave mantra to Dhruv Maharaj. So auspicious. That's one style of initiation. Yes. Naraji didn't give any mantra to Prahlad Maharaj when he was in the womb of his mother. Naraji only spoke Hari Katha, Bhagavad Dharma. That is also another kind of initiation. Receiving the teachings of Bhagavad Dharma is another kind of initiation. Very subtle point. Very subtle point. Then Naraji came to Ved Vyasji and also initiated him in Bhagavad Dharma, in making him realizing what he wrote about Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, to make him realize that was also initiation. When Naraji came to Ved Vyasji, and by speaking about his previous lifetime and speaking about Bhagavad Dharma, Taktva Sat Dharanam Charanam Bhajam, Hare Bhajano Apakko Yadi, Yatra Kava Abhadra Bhud Kimko Vishate Swadharmata. Glorifying about Naraji speaking about Bhagavad Dharma over Varnashram Dharma. Yeah. When Naraji spoke this, Ved Vyasji got all blessings from Naraji, and then he sat in meditation, and what he saw, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samya Pratape Male Apashat Purusham Purnam Mayastat Padashtrayam. Vyasji, with Vyasji, he saw Purna Purusha, complete Krishna, and he also saw Maya, which is behind Krishna. Maya was not coming in front of Krishna, she is always in the back. So, how Ved Vyasji saw this? Through Naraji. Which mantra Naraji gave? The mantra of Bhagavad Dharma. Naraji is Diksha Guru of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and also Ved Vyasji. But we can see is not directly reciting those mantras, Gopal mantras. Still it is Diksha? Yes. When you considered your Shiksha Guru as your life and soul, that doesn't mean that you are minimizing the glories of your Diksha Guru. No, not with that mood. But amongst two, the Shiksha Guru becomes more prominent, more close, and related, and becomes life and soul. So there is no any level of distinction left between two of them. And then whatever one receives from that Shiksha Guru is also actually Diksha mantras. Understand? The teachings is also like a Diksha mantras. As I gave this examples. Right? Then Naraji gave Diksha mantras in the form of speaking Bhagavad Dharma to 10,000 sons of Daksh Prajapati. My goodness, 10,000 sons. Inconceivable, Baba. Daksh Prajapati, he is always producing children. 10,000. When they Grown up, when they grew, Daksh Prajapati told, go perform austerities because now you have to get married, and then now you're going to get married, and then you have to also continue with uh, creation. 10,000 sons in the forest sat in meditation. That was the system before one gets married. You have to do austerities, control over senses to get married, not losing control to get married. That's the system. It's different now. But Daksh Prajapati sent his 10,000 children, boys, to go and perform austerities because you have to enter into Grastha ashram. See, in third canto, example of Kardam Rishi, his very, very beautiful wife. How many very you can add is less. Very, 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 very. So beautiful. Bhagavatam explains. Once upon a time, who's his beautiful wife? Devhuti, Mother Devhuti. Once upon a time, Devhuti was playing with a ball on the roof of of her house, her father's house, and Gandharva was on a plane, saw the beauty of Devhuti, and just by seeing the beauty of Devhuti, they fall unconscious. Surprisingly, if you see someone beautiful, you don't feel unconscious. We start we start getting attracted or we start glorifying, appreciating. Oh, this person is beautiful, God gifted. Because of some good deeds done in the past, one got good form. I mean, good beauty, beautiful. But there's some details in that. One is called Rupa, another is called Sarupa. Beauty applies to Roop, means external appearance of a person. That's Roop. Oh, the Roop of that person is oh, wonderful. Beauty, unparalleled. But that's Rupa. But more than that is Sarupa. Sarupa means beauty plus activities plus qualities. That makes Sarup. A person can be externally very beautiful. How about nature? How about the activities? That makes a person actually handsome. That makes a person beautiful. Not just mere external beauty. That beauty will fade. Yeah. 20 years, 30 years, very beautiful. 45 years, 55 years, different shapes. You're not that beautiful as you were before. Fading. But qualities never fade. The activities, if it is righteous, never fades. Yeah. That makes a person always look very beautiful and handsome. Yeah. So Devhuti was so beautiful that Gandharva fall unconscious seeing her. And Devhuti married to Kardam Rishi, who was a rishi, no possessions. Bhagavatam, no possessions. And who is the parents of Devhuti? Who are the parents of Devhuti? Swambhu Manu. Manu was king of the entire planet with his wife Shatrupa. Akuti, Prasuti, Devhuti. From Shatrupa and Swayambhu Manu, two sons and three daughters. Priyavrat Maharaj, Uttanpad Maharaj. From Uttanpad Maharaj, the dynasty came Dhruv Maharaj. From Priyavrat Maharaj, then further came Bharat Maharaj, Rishabdev and all. And three daughters, Akuti, Prasuti and Devhuti. Akuti was married by Prajapati, Ruchi Prajapati. Prasuti married to Daksh Prajapati. And Devhuti married to Kardam Rishi. When Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa brought their daughter to hand over to Kardam Rishi, please accept our daughter hand in your hands. Kardam Rishi didn't saw only the beauty, but he also saw the qualities, not only external beauty. He was not only attracted by seeing her external beauty, which was so uh, fascinating that even Gandharva got fainted to see her. Kadam Rishi immediately accepted her, but with a condition. Right away, in the beginning of marriage, just by seeing one condition, whenever we get one son, I will renounce and I will go to forest. That was the condition. After getting such beautiful wife, thinking of renunciation, Swami Manu accepted. Yes. Devhuti, yes, accepted. Marriage took place. By seeing Devhuti, Kardam Rishi was not so excited to see her beauty. And instead of getting into bhoga, he entered into yoga. Instead of seeing such beautiful wife in a secluded place, there was no one in the forest. Instead of getting indulged in bhoga, seeing such beauty, he entered into yoga, bhakti yoga. So Kardam Rishi, he sat in meditation, samadhi. Oh, we just got married. No honeymoon, nothing. No, yoga. Imagine how strong. And for hundreds and thousands of years in meditation, what the girl will do if the husband sit in meditation right away after marriage? Forget about him. I'm going back. What was the point of getting married? Not even looking at me, nothing. But Devhuti never left Kardam Rishi. She keep on serving him, serving him, serving him. She looked like so old after hundreds of years. Once one day Kardam Rishi opened his eyes and he saw one lady and he's trying to recall who is she? Oh, Devhuti. Devhuti, I got married to you. What happened? I am so sorry. I, oh, I sat in meditation and I got samadhi in trance. Devhuti, you look so old now. When I married to you, you were so young, beautiful, so nice hairs, and now you got some big dreadlocks. Don't worry, Devhuti. And Kardam Rishi, he, he asked Devhuti to take a dip in pond, Bindu Sarovar. Moment devotee took dip in that Bindu Sarovar, she came out with 100 times more beautiful as she was before. That's the potency. And not only she didn't came alone, so many maids, hundreds of maid servants also appeared from that pond to serve her. And Kardam Rishi, he manufactured with his mind, he created one airplane, thousands of miles big airplane. Waterfalls are there, ponds are there, mountains are there, gardens are there, caves are there. Without any petrol, without any pilot, the plane is moving with the speed of mind. For thousands of years, they were wandering. That's called not the roop, the beauty, but the sarup. Naraji, when Daksh Prajapati gave birth to 10,000 children and to ask them to go and get married, perform tapasya, Naraji came there and Naraji gave mantras, means Harikatha, and 10,000 disciples at one slot. 10,000 disciples and all renounced. No grastas, brahmacharis, sannyasis, 10,000. How many disciples Naraji had? There is no countability. 10,000. Daksh Prajapati became so angry and upset. Again, he produced 1,000 more and, and also told them, go and perform austerities, but don't hear any Harikatha. Otherwise, you will spoil yourself. Naraji thought, oh, 10,000 disciples, another 1,000. He came and again spoke Harikatha. This is Diksha. This is Diksha. 1,000 more. 11,000 disciples and only in one family. This is one kind of Diksha. And there is one strange kind of Diksha. Naraji cursed two sons of Kubera. That's also Diksha. Cursing is Diksha, yes. Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpan. Say kale Krishna kore tar atma samarpan. These two boys of Kubera, Nal Kuber Manigriv, naked, bathing in the pond with some woman. And they came naked out from the pond and abusing Naraji. Why you came here? Disturbing me. They are not, they are only seeing Naraji. They are not having darshan of Naraji. Seeing a sadhu and darshan of sadhu is two different things. Seeing a sadhu means seeing his external appearance. And darshan of sadhu means seeing his internal appearance. In any part of the world, America, Europe, London, when devotees coming Karti Parikrama, what they say, oh, we have to go, we are going Vrindavan to have darshan of Radha Damodar. That's the better way of saying. Not, I'm going to see Radha Damodar. You can't see Radha Damodar. Rather, Radha Damodar will see you. We are going not to see them. We are going to show ourselves to them. Please see us. And in return, reciprocation, darshan. We are going to have darshan and they are seeing us. Malk, this Shri Gadadhar Pandit, he he came to see Pundrik Vidyanidhi. Only seeing, not darshan. When he had darshan, when Mukunda Prabhu, he spoke the verse from Bhagavatam, speaking about the compassion of Krishna. अहो बकियम स्तन कालकूटम जिगासपय पिय साध्वी लवे गति दात्री उचितम ततो अन्यम कम व दयालु शरणम व्रजेना. How Krishna is so compassionate. He killed Putana and gave destination, mother-like destination in his abode. And then Gadadhar Pandit was surprised to see the symptoms, transcendental symptoms in Pundik Vidyan. That's darshan. Before, only seeing, and later, darshan. We are not going with the proper word. When Srila Gurudev was present on this planet, devotees, what the word they used to say, what the word they're using, they're not saying we are going to see Gurudev. We're going to have darshan of Gurudev. Although it looks like same, but big philosophy gap is there in between seeing and having darshan. Darshan is always of transcendental personalities. Darshan is always of those transcendental personalities who invoke all auspiciousness in our life just by with them. That's the words today. They are the cause of all auspiciousness in our life. That's why that's darshan. And while having their darshan, they are seeing us. They are not having our darshan. They are seeing us. That's the proper way of saying. We are, can I come to see darshan of Gurudev? Can I come to see darshan of Vaishnav? Oh Maya, can I come in the morning to see darshan of Giriraj? Or we say, oh Maya, can we come in the morning to see Giriraj? No. Darshan. In that darshan, name, form, quality, pastime, everything is inclusive in the word darshan. So what kind of diksha, a strange diksha Naraji gave to these two boys by giving curse to them. Naked. They're not they're not having darshan of Naraji. They are seeing Naraji and they are abusing Naraji. Naraji cursed them. And that curse, in other words, in that curse is like a diksha. Because of that curse, all auspiciousness sprouted in their life. Because of curse. So anything, blessing or curse, by which one get capability or qualified to have Atmasam, closeness with Krishna, that's Diksha. These two boys, they became tree in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where Krishna is touching those trees. Krishna is hiding, playing hide and seek in the courtyard of Yashoda Maya with his friends, and he's hiding. And when he's hiding, he might be touching those trees, getting the fruits of those trees, or climbing those trees. That's called Atmasam, oneness, the darshan of Krishna. And later on, they became what? Two divine personalities appeared from the trees when they got uprooted. And Snigdhakand Madhukand went entered to Golok Vrindavan and speaking Hari Katha to Brajavasis. I mentioned this 2 days back. Isn't this Diksha? Is this not Diksha? What is the meaning of Diksha then? In the curse of Naraji is also Diksha present. Even in the curse of Naraji, the mood of Diksha is there. Diksha means compassion. That's why I call this a strange kind of Diksha. But that's Diksha. They got Krishna Atmasam. They got close with Krishna immediately even by becoming trees there. You see? That's Diksha. So all auspiciousness comes in a life only by, here Kaviraj Goswami explaining, Bhakta, Shakti, Avatar, Prakash. We have no access to Shakti, we have no access to Avatar, we have no access to any Prakash, we have no access to Krishna. We do have access to Bhakta. We have access to Bhaktas. Therefore, Mangalam. Shubha means Mangalam. By receiving this mantra, oh, this is the point where this is only introduction. I have not completed my class today. It's only introduction part. Remember, I started from the point. One second. Can you hear me? Yes. So, from where I start, what I was saying? Yes. Auspiciousness. Shubha. And that comes by process of Diksha. Hearing Hari Katha, sitting at the lotus feet of Sadhu is also Diksha because that's nourishing Diksha. And then, Bhakti Lata Beej. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. Gurudev implanting that seed of bhakti and the creeper sprouts from that seed. So two leaves comes on that plant. What are these two leaves? Shri Rupa Goswami explains. What is these two leaves? Klesh Agni Shubda. Then other two leaves. Moksh Lagu Takrita Sudurlava. Then other two leaves. Sandranatma Vishesh Atma Shri Krishna Akarshnicha. 6 leaves. But 2 is Klesh Agni, means all the kleshas get destroyed. And Shubhada, Shubhani Prinam Sav Jagtanu Raktaha. All auspiciousness start coming in the life. What is the meaning of auspiciousness here? Everyone start loving that person. And that person start loving everyone. That's auspiciousness. Because the qualities of Krishna and the qualities of Guru start reflecting in that person. That's why everyone start loving that person and he start loving everyone. Shivani Prininam Sarva Jagtanu Rakta. And Sukh, all kind of bliss and happiness one drives. This is one leaf and it's called Shubhada. Another when bhaktas, that's our subject today. The subject is how bhaktas are creating auspiciousness. Gopis are saying this. Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam kavi bidditam kalmashapaham shavana mangalam shrimad atatam. Shavana mangalam shrimad atatam. That Krishna Katha which is source of all mangalam, auspiciousness. But who is delivering this? Who's giving this? Bhurida Jana, the devotees. That's why gopis are glorifying devotees. They are generous, Bhurida Jana, who are giving us this auspicious Krishna Katha, which is like nectar. Then Hari Nam is also auspicious. Maduram Maduram Eta Mangala Mangala Nam. Huh? Giving auspiciousness to even Hari Nam, holy name, is giving auspiciousness to even those all other auspiciousness. Auspiciousness to those who are sources of auspiciousness. Who's giving that? Hari Nam. But who gives us Hari Nam? Bhakta. From where we receive Hari Nam? From Bhakta. That's also auspiciousness. There's one verse in 12th canto. Today I was thinking. Today this shloka says, Sab Shubher Karan. By glorifying devotees, it gives all auspiciousness. So I thought, where in the Shastras I can find this verses with related to auspiciousness and devotees. So there are a couple of them I penned down. There's a one verse in 12th canto. Avismriti Krishna Padar Vindayo Shanyanti Abhadrani Cha Sham Tanoti Satyasya Shuddhim Paranatma Bhakti Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam Cha Vijnanam Viragam Yuktim. ठीक है ना? Yes. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj Ji, he used to utter this verse very often. The meaning is, the remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet is, in other words, remembrance of dear devotees of Lord. The remembrance of Krishna's lotus feet means the remembrance of dear devotees of Lord, because the Lord, devotees of Lord are always at his lotus feet. Oh. In other words, remembrance of dear devotees of Lord who have taken full shelter at his lotus feet. And what happens with that? They destroy all inauspiciousness and increase auspiciousness. Oh. Sarva Shubhera Karan. They increase all auspiciousness. When one's heart is purified by bhakti to Supreme Soul is awakened and then the person attain Gyan, Vigyan, endowed with renunciation. The meaning of the words. But the important point is, dissipate all darkness of inauspiciousness and bring up light of all auspiciousness. Who? The devotees. Yeah, the devotees. Then Cheto Darpan Marjanam Bhav Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kervika Chandrika Vitranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Shreya. What is the meaning of Shreya? Auspiciousness. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Mahaprabhu uttered this word. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Krishna Sankirtanam, by which what happens? Chetu Darpan Marjanam. The mirror of the heart gets cleansed. Bhava Madhava Agni Nirvapanam. The great forest fire. All the three tapas get destroyed. But Shreya also invoke all auspiciousness through Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. And who is initiating Krishna Sankirtanam? Bhaktas. Bhaktas. When Mahaprabhu is speaking this, also being Krishna, speaking in the mood of Bhaktas. Shreya Kirvika Chandrika Vitranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadanam Sarvatma Sanapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. By Bhaktas, all auspiciousness. Sarva Shubher Karan. When Gargacharya ji, pure devotee from Mathura, came to give name ceremony to Krishna Balaram. Nand Maharaj glorified Gargacharya saying, Mahad Vichranam Nirnam Grinam Deen Chetasam. You came, sadhus of your caliber, when you move here and there and you come to householders like us, it is for Nishreyasya, for our auspiciousness. Just by seeing you, all auspiciousness comes. Darshane pavitra karo, ei tomar gun. Right? What is the meaning? Just by having a darshan, one get purified. Darshane pavitra karo, not dekhe pavitra karo. Not by seeing Vaishnav, but by darshan of Vaishnav. Not by seeing Vaishnav, darshan of Vaishnav. Ei tomar gun. You see, there are many verses. We'll continue tomorrow. Shubhani Prinina. No. Shavan Subhadrani Rathang Pane. Janmani Karmani Chayani Loke. Gitani Namani Tadarthakani. Gayan Vilaj Acharena Sangaha. Evam Priyam. Priyan Evam Ratam Sapriya Nama Kirtai. जात अनुराग धृत चित्तुच्चै हसति रोदति रोयति गायन्ति आनंदमान उन्मानवंती लोकवाद्ये. शुभानी, व्हाट इज सेइंग, क्या बोल रहे हैं? श्रवण सुभद्रानी रथांग पाने. श्रवण सुभद्रानी, just by hearing subhadrani. Subhadrani means all auspiciousness. All auspiciousness just by hearing, by devotee. Understand? We'll continue this very interesting topic. There were so many points coming in my meditation. Then I was thinking, while I'll speak in my class, maybe I forget that. So better I should write down. So I pen down the points. How this auspiciousness, there are many, direct or indirect. There can be more than 100 and 200 points. I only wrote 20 because I don't want to hold. The first chapter is not completed yet. And today is our 53rd class. We celebrated 50th anniversary already. 2 days back. 50th day, not anniversary of this. So, but it's very interesting topic. Gives so much encouragement and inspiration by hearing the glories of bhaktas, which are always auspicious and always auspicious. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Tomorrow